We are back. It's Revinyl. It's Craig and it's Shawn. Episode something, 80 something, season 2. I got to look it up. I keep thinking every episode, what episode are we on number wise? I mean, we're been at this a while, but we're back. Got
Yep.
another good episode. We're going to talk about a couple of interesting topics today, one of which is a really cool reunion that I thought would never happen.
Yep.
And it brings up an interesting topic that you and I briefly touched on earlier today, but we saved the best for the podcast to talk about it. But then we're going to have some fun with band names. We our other podcast that we do, Vinyl 4, we had a conversation around the Ramones. How did that name come about? And that got me down a rabbit hole, which then I said, "Hey Craig, I think I own a book. It's called the Band Name Book. It's pretty thick too. I mean, it's like there must be 2,000 bands in here." So I, not randomly, but I picked 10 major band names with the origin. I thought they were pretty interesting and they're quick. We'll just kind of go through those. You have something for me, right?
Yeah.
Right now to start things off, and I think you're gonna put me under the gun a little bit on a
Yeah.
trivia.
This is a little bit of trivia. So we're not going to do the either or. We're not going to do the rate it. We're going to do trivia. So I'm going to give you 5 hints and see if how quickly you can get it. You'll definitely get it by the last one. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. The band. One of their original choices for a lead singer was John Bush. John Bush ended up being the lead singer, and he might still be the lead singer. I don't know if they're still around. Armored Saint.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Need another one?
Need another one.
Okay. Their first gig only had 20 people. This was in 1982 in Radio City in Anaheim, and one of the attendees was Megadeth's David Ellefson.
All
He plays
right.
he plays bass.
Well,
Okay, number 3, you ready?
I'm ready.
They were temporarily banned from playing in Boston in 1986 because fans caused too much chaos.
Okay. No idea. I know they're an LA band though, because Armored Saint was an LA band, so I think they're probably Southern California type band. So, and
Let's
they're
see.
metal.
Let's
All
see.
right. All right.
They were the first band to play all 7 continents. After performing in Antarctica in 2013, they became the first band to cover all continents.
Man, no idea.
Okay, here you go. Number 5. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2009. All 4 members of the current lineup, as well as 2 former bassists, one of which is still around and the other one has passed.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and they're not a Southern California band. They're a
Nope.
Northern California band.
Yep.
That would be Metallica.
Yep. And there you go.
Wow. John Bush was really?
Yeah, he was one of the he never made the cut. That was just somebody that I think they auditioned, but yes, he was in the forefront. I think Lars put out an ad to get people rounded up, and they had the original lineup that you know of, and they were thinking about another lead singer, and they ended up just going with James. But yeah,
Good choice, by the way.
yeah. I mean, look, John Bush is amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely an amazing vocalist. And I think it would have been a pretty decent fit, but man, I mean, it's Metallica. So
Man, that I didn't know the answer until you said the bass part, and you smiled when you said that because you knew I had it
yeah,
there.
you had it. You had to have it there.
But up till that point, I really didn't know. Okay. So I'll drop some knowledge on you here. A couple of these I made some notes, but a couple of these I'm gonna have to flip through the book while we go. But I
Okay.
picked out some band names well, actually, yeah, let's do the band names first and then let's talk about the reunion thing. So let's go
Okay.
ahead and
Cool.
knock this out. This is pretty fun. So Simple Minds, do you have any idea where they came up with the name Simple Minds? Band that both Craig and I love very much.
I would be guessing. I don't know.
It's from a lyric. It's actually from David Bowie's song Gene Genie. He mentions there's a
Oh,
lyric in there about Simple Minds, and that was where they came up with the name. How funny is that? Like that's what I love about these things.
the minute you said it too, I was like, real? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. All right. You know the band Dropkick Murphys?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So Dropkick Murphys was a reference to an old drunk tank lockup in Boston. I
No,
guess you did not want to end up in Dropkick Murphys after, midnight.
I don't think you'd wanna be in their touring van after
No. I don't know if I'm gonna be in the crowd before midnight.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a funny one that's it's just 2 words together, Sonic Youth. So Thurston Moore, guess he was a big MC5 fan, no surprise.
Yeah.
And Fred Sonic Smith, guitarist for MC5, so he used Sonic. And then youth was a very prevalent word at the time in the reggae culture.
Yes.
A lot of reference. You know that. You're a big reggae guy.
Yeah.
That's it's simple as that. Sonic
That is
Youth.
too cool.
Yeah.
That makes me wanna listen to some Sonic Youth now, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, this one we both know, but it's still a pretty funny story to share. The band Rat. So Stephen Pearcy, the lead singer, was a big Mickey Mouse fan. I think he liked to draw Mickey Mouse, all kinds of stuff. So Rat was actually originally called Mickey Rat because it was a badass Mickey Mouse was basically
Yeah.
the idea. So they were called Mickey Rat and then eventually shortened it to Rat. Did you know that? You knew
Yeah.
that story probably?
Yeah.
Okay.
We love us some Rat, by the way.
Love some Rat. Yep. Okay, next up, Toad the Wet Sprocket is actually named from it was a sketch on a Monty Python
Yep.
album. Did you know this?
Yeah, yeah.
It's so funny, and it was, I guess, Eric Idle had a fictitious singer and band that he was talking about during the sketch, and it was called Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Yeah. You did I was curious if you the minute you mentioned that, I was like, "Oh, this is a great one." Yeah. Anything that Monty Python involved is awesome. Yeah.
Just awesome. Okay, what about Green Day? Any idea?
No.
Green Day is pretty simple, actually. It was when they would take a day off from school to go smoke some green stuff. They called it
Oh,
Green Day.
nice.
So,
Alright.
when they took well, I guess when they skipped school to go smoke weed, that was called Green Day.
Hey, I love it. That's cool.
Yeah,
They're a band I'm appreciating more now than I did when they were in their heyday.
right, right. Yeah, Billy Joe's just awesome. Okay,
Cool cat.
cool cat. Deep Purple. This was really wild. I did not know this.
Yeah,
A
I don't know.
1930s piano composition by Peter DeRose was guitarist Richie Blackmore's grandmother's, favorite song.
Oh,
So the song was called Deep Purple from a 1930 piano composition, and it was Richie Blackmore's grandmother's favorite song.
very cool.
I just thought it had something, I thought it would have something more. I mean, Deep Purple was named after his grandmother's favorite song. That's just
I would have
mind blowing.
thought theirs would have been more drug influenced.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Molly Hatchet. One of the
Yeah,
all-time great. You know this one?
I I'm thinking is this kinda like a Lizzie Borden type thing, kind of?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacksonville, Florida based Southern rock band. The band is named after a 17th century Southern prostitute who allegedly decapitated and or chopped up her clients.
Yeah.
Not good for business, Craig. I don't know. I haven't made all the best business choices in my life, but probably killing your clients eventually, not good.
Well, I mean, repeat business is tough, so, I
Yeah.
mean, if you're going for the Sweeney Todd effect, I get it, but I don't think it's very good for business.
No, it's not good for business. Yeah. So you had heard that one before, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, My Morning Jacket. This one, do you have any idea on
No,
that
and
one?
it's so funny because we just talked about them on, recently on the Vinyl 4 podcast. Check that out.
Yes. Yeah, because we love them so much. Okay. While lead singer Jim James was visiting his old friends, his favorite bar from his student days burnt down. He found a discarded jacket among the charred remains. Inside the jacket were the stitched initials MMJ. James decided they stood for My Morning Jacket. It was that simple.
That's awesome.
A jacket with
That's
the
so cool.
monogram MMJ on the inside, and he goes, "Oh, it must stand for My Morning Jacket."
Love it.
Love it. All right. Okay. think that wraps it up. I did want to just throw out some other, I mean, just absolutely hilarious. Okay, let's be honest. There's a lot of names in this book I can't even mention because
Yeah.
this is a family program. Some of these are so funny. I wish I could say them on air, but I'm not going to. But there's so many here that I just look at, just wild names. I mean, this one's not necessarily, but you know, electro hippies, frozen ghost, mud girl, Girl Scout hand grenade was a band from Flint, Michigan. Kevin, maybe you've heard of them. The what do we got here? Fat Kid Dodgeball. I thought that was a.
Oh, they're a great band.
Do you know them?
No.
Oh gosh, I was like, really? Um, there's a band called Big Thumb Bowlers. Another one, Disgruntled Sherpa Project. Love that. I still think Fat Kid Dodgeball might be. I just, how did you even come up with that?
They had to
There's
be a punk band.
Had to be a punk band. There's another one, called Dirty Linen, but it's spelled Lenin,
Oh,
Dirty
yeah.
Lemon
Yep.
Linen, pretty funny. And then, let's see, I'll go with one more here. Let me just pick one randomly. I mean, this is just great. Uh, eh, Here's one, Haircuts That Kill. Love that.
Oh, I like
But
that, yeah.
yeah. This is a great book. There's just literally thousands of these. I mean, like I said, the best ones are the ones I can't read. They're just not appropriate. But I'll have to let you borrow this book just so you can flip through and see some of the names of some of these bands. So it's great stuff.
Nice. That's
All
cool.
right. Yeah. Every now and then maybe I'll go back to this and pick out some more bands that we can talk about because I'd love to go back through all the iconic bands. We know some of the stories. We know the Led Zeppelin story. Obviously, bands like Van Halen are pretty self-explanatory, but there's some really cool stories behind these bands.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. Okay. We talked about earlier, there's a reunion coming up, and I actually only found out about it because I was on StubHub looking for tickets for another event. And the first thing that pops up on the page, four letters, very familiar four letters.
Yeah.
RUSH, Rush. I thought, is this for an old concert or something? Am I on a page from, 8 years ago or whatever?
Yeah.
So they're getting back together.
Yeah, this is huge. Yeah,
Huge.
this is Matt. Have you heard her? So her name is Anika Nilles. I think that's how you pronounce her. Maybe not. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I've seen some of her YouTube videos. Holy mackerel! Like she can do all of that and then some.
Yeah.
Seriously, she's very very skilled. 99.9% level.
Where did she come from? Was she in another band or did they find her
I
just,
the thing now, the trend now is there are a lot of musicians that are just do YouTube. They
yeah.
just and they play their own, sometimes they'll play their own music, sometimes they'll play to Rush. And I think she was just kind of one of those YouTube artists that was just doing her own thing, playing and letting people see her set up, let her see as she's playing directly to a song, and just blew them away. I don't know how they connected. Honestly,
They
don't
must have auditioned her, right? They
I
had to have.
I would think maybe somebody, pointed her out and said, "Look, look at her doing Spirit of Radio, which is just an incredible song. If you can do that, you can pretty much do anything."
Yeah.
And I think she probably nailed it. And maybe somebody forwarded that to her. I know enough from just seeing two of her videos to know she can pull this off. And they are not amateurs, guys. These guys know they would never in a million years try to replace Neil under any circumstances, but they still have a lot of life left in them. They still got a lot of music to play, have a ton of fans that want to hear them, and other bands have done it. I mean, if Keith Moon, one of the most monumental drummers, seriously, one of the most powerful drummers of The Who, if The Who can do it, then I think they can pull this off. I really do.
Yeah.
I think there's been enough time. Time has settled, and I think people they want more. They want to hear
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, the Who, Keith Moon passes. Kenny Jones, who of course you know from Faces, Small Faces and Faces, right? He
Yeah.
he steps in, and honestly, I'm not saying he wasn't Keith Moon for sure. He was a different type of drummer,
Oh,
but he
absolutely.
was a really good drummer. Eminence Front, one of my favorite Who
Excellent.
songs ever.
I agree. Yeah.
I loved him. I loved his sound. And I think Kenny Jones, you know what's interesting? Kenny Jones was more of an arena rock drummer, probably. Keith Moon was just you can't I mean, Keith Moon was almost more like a jazz, like he was just so fast and he could do so much, but Kenny Jones was more of a big drum guy. I think we talked about a couple of other bands. Obviously, Zeppelin never really survived after John Bonham's passing. They could have done it with his son Jason and carried forward. But it's it's really rare to have a drummer that's so iconic that you consider not keeping the band going. Most bands, they're also probably at a point in their career where they're ready to take a break. But most bands, they could lose the drummer. Look at Spinal Tap. How many drummers? What's the running joke?
Yeah,
All the
absolutely.
drummers they've replaced. But you could lose a drummer and still carry on.
Yeah,
It's harder if it's the lead singer, of course. It happened a few times, Bon Scott with Brian Johnston. But a lot of bands have carried on after losing their drummer for whatever reason, death or because of falling out. REM did when Bill Berry left the band. But Neil Peart is different. And by the way, everyone out there, it is Peart.
Peart.
I said Pert for years, but it's not. And I know that because I listened to the Geddy Lee narration of his book.
Yep.
Uh, but Neil Peart is a whole different level. I mean, he was as big as the band, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you're talking about him, Stu Copeland, John Bonham, Keith Moon. I mean,
That's pretty.
it's a very short list in the rock
Yeah,
and roll arena, and those to me are the four godfathers.
yeah.
By the way, let me give you. So her name is pronounced Anika Nilles.
Okay.
She's born in 1983. She's a German drummer, composer, and musical educator. She launched her career on YouTube during the early 2010s and has released 3 full-length albums to date, all with a backing band, Neville. So she had some pedigree for sure.
Yeah,
I knew, but she's got a huge following, and this is a real deal. There are some musicians out there. I'm telling you, there's some musicians on YouTube that you've never heard of that are seriously as good as anybody ever. I mean, it's hard to believe. There's
yeah,
some people out there that can exceed the likes of Hendrix, and I know that's crazy, but some of these guitarists, some of these bassists, drummers are just incredible, and she's one of those drummers. Now, we'll see how she handles the nuances of the songs because that's the thing. I mean, even listening, we listened to some Rush this weekend, by the way. I had some friends come in from Charlotte and we listened to Signals. And I know that's a very synthesized
I love that
I
album.
love that album so
I do
much.
too.
That's probably one of my favorite Rush albums.
Yep, me
And
too.
that album to me, it's kind of like Presence with Led Zeppelin. Presence is that's that's Bonham's album.
Yeah,
That's his album to showcase. And I felt like with Signals, that was kind of his album to showcase as well, too. The other members kind of backed away, let the music breathe a little bit more, and you really get to hear all those accents. So we'll see how she handles that. But I'm telling you, from what I've seen, I don't think she's going to have any issues whatsoever. And I
yeah,
think to me, she's going to reach. She's a little bit younger. Obviously, she's going to rejuvenate the band, the audience. I think they're going to call it. What do they call it? The 50 something tour. I think
yeah.
is what they
50
call it.
something tour because it's been 10 years since they played their last show, the Rush 40 or R40.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's so many people. We go look at some tribute bands. The difference is a lot of these players, they're even better than the originals. They've
Yeah.
honed it for so long. The difference will be, can they be creators
Absolutely.
versus just imitators? And I don't mean that in any disrespect, but what
No,
she's
it's
gonna do,
the
she's
same.
gonna add flourishes and she'll do some things probably different than Neil did. But if they go to record another album, can she come up with the new sound, the new stuff that
That's the
drives the band?
That's the thing. We've talked about covers before in the past, and there are legitimately covers that exceed the original, but you can never get past the original because that person wrote it.
Right.
And so you can add flourishes to it, but could you have come up with that in the first place? And
Yeah.
that's what's going to be important. But I really feel like somebody that because if she's been doing it since the early 2010s, she was good enough to launch. by then.
Yeah.
So she'd been playing for a while. She's been doing this long enough, so she probably has her own. She can probably add touches that maybe Neil wouldn't have thought about. So, but I'm curious to what they want to do. Do they just want to tour? Do they just want to go out there and play what they already have out there? Or do they want to release new stuff? It's gonna be
Yeah.
fascinating. I'm actually more excited to see them now because I have hindsight. Because I was like,
Yeah.
I can't believe I've never seen this band, and now I can. Now
Yeah.
I know it won't be the same, but I think it's gonna be pretty darn good. So I'm definitely gonna try to get tickets.
I saw them in 2010. It's the only time I saw them. I was sitting way up on the lawn, but it was a bucket list deal for me. I will go see them again. I'd like to take my son to see that. I would have loved to have seen Neil Peart with my son because he's heard me talk about him for years.
Yep.
But I'm so excited to hear someone else take that forward.
Yep.
Who knows? And yeah, in some ways, she may even be better because she may add some things, some flourishes. Technology's better. Maybe I don't know. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Getty, every time I was so surprised, even as they got older, that they sounded so good.
Yeah.
Rush to me, every time I heard live recordings of them, even in the 2000s, they still just sounded so tight. They're just such good musicians. I think it's because they've taken good care of themselves through the years.
Absolutely. Yeah. Have you seen Beyond the Lighted Stage, the documentary?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh man.
seriously, that's a top 10 documentary.
Yeah.
Because they were true friends. I mean, I just remember
Yeah.
seeing them sitting down, having dinner and wine, and I was
Yeah.
like, "These guys are just they're so connected at the hip." It's you hear a lot of times bands will kinda fight the issue and kind of we're good when we're out, but we don't really communicate otherwise, and
Right.
they do. And so I
Yeah.
think that's I think it's awesome. I'm very much looking forward to that. You can see I've seen from some of the interviews and seen the pictures, they look really excited to get back at it. So I'm excited for them.
If you could pick one song, you go see them live, what's the one song that you is a must to hear?
I
Do you have
mean,
one?
I'm gonna go Signals. I'm going very first track Subdivisions. I
I
mean,
I that's my favorite song. I used to when I would get a new stereo system, home, car, that was a song that I used to listen to, would be
yeah,
Subdivisions. It just sounds so good. The drums in it are just me being, playing around, dabbling with drums. That song to me, the drums. Limelight would be the other song for me that
yeah,
just such a great live song. I've lived with Rush most of my life. I'm just so happy. I'm happy for them that they found a place in their lives where they feel they can do this without dishonoring Neil.
right.
With that, but this is Neil would be happy. I really believe Neil would maybe even towards the end might have said, "You guys should carry on without me."
I think so too.
I think he was that kind of guy. So
Yeah.
yeah, super excited about that. Um, okay, well, we're gonna wrap up here, Craig. We've got
Yep.
some other topics that we're gonna do coming up that I'm really excited about. We also have our other podcast, Vinyl 4, that highly encourage everyone to check out. My wish is that you listen to both of them. They both come out every Friday. Check them both out. The Vinyl 4 is really fun. If you don't know, you've heard us talk about. We start with 16 albums every week from the Rolling Stone 500, randomly pitted against each other. And every episode, we come out with 4 that make it to
Yep.
the next round. It's a lot of fun. So we've got a new episode coming out every week. Super excited about that. But yeah, Craig, thanks. Thanks for bringing that up around Rush. Maybe we'll get some other good news. Maybe the Smiths will get back together. That would be a dream of ours to go see them. But until then, we'll go with the Rush reunion.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, everyone.